New coach of the Brazil national team, Ukraine's reaction to the return of the Russia national team and Russian clubs to international football, and a fight on the field in the London derby Chelsea versus Tottenham. We're talking about this and much more today. Friends, this is a dose of football and a hot selection of the most interesting news to this hour. Urgently charge your royal like, let's collect 5,000 thumbs up today, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow. Well, I wish you a pleasant appetite and a pleasant viewing. Bavaria prepares to bid farewell to Thomas Muller, sparking an emotional upheaval in the locker room. The club legend, a man who has been part of the Munich team since his youth, will leave it. At the season's end, they couldn't extend the contract, and management moved on without him. The fans had hoped until the last that their idol would be given the opportunity to choose the moment of his departure himself, but the situation turned out differently. The team took the news with disappointment. Key players are unhappy as Muller is not just a club symbol, but also a crucial figure in the locker room. His authority, charisma, and leadership qualities created an atmosphere in which Bavaria remained a formidable force in Europe for many years. But for the leadership, the future was more important. The priority was rejuvenating the squad. Even legendary status didn't sway their choice. Sam Muller realized that his role on the field was diminishing, but he expected more respect from the club to which he had given his entire career. His departure is just part of the massive changes that await Bavaria this summer. Data suggests the team may lose several key players, including Leon Goretzka, Leroy Sane, and Kingsley Coman, who are at risk of leaving. The club intends to update the roster, make it younger and more dynamic. Muller's sights are now set across the ocean, with a Major League Soccer club already expressing interest in his future. It appears the next phase of his career will unfold in the United States of America. Possibly, Muller will join his former national team partner, and the same legend of all German football, Marco Reus, who is currently playing for Los Angeles Galaxy. At 35, he is still ready to compete at a high level, and despite the painful separation, continues to enjoy football. His departure will mark the end of an era for Bavaria, and in the breakup, this step left a sense of disappointment. But the restructuring is just beginning. Atletico Madrid is seriously planning to work on the mistakes made this summer. In order to dethrone Real Madrid and Barcelona from the Spanish throne, the mattress makers plan to sign world-class legend Antony. After leaving gloomy Manchester, the Brazilian started showing bright football again. At first, he brought the entire La Liga to its knees, demonstrating to these Spanish clubs the real balance of power. The plot took pity on Bedolaga and slowed down, but Antony is still having one of the best streaks of his career. In these few months, he has accumulated almost as many results as he has in all the years at Old Trafford. Of course, I exaggerate, but that's the impression you get when you follow Antony's performances at Benito Villamarin. It's no surprise that after his bright game, European giants started lining up for him. First, they talked about Bavaria's desire, and it was reported that the Munich team was ready to offer some astronomical sum for the Brazilian. And now Atletico has been added to the list of contenders. According to sources, the parties may agree on a transfer for just 40 million euros. That's mere pennies for the opportunity to watch a football legend play every day. Manchester United, in turn, will happily let the declining player go. To be serious, his career in England immediately went downhill. And the club needs to take advantage of this bright spark to unload the payroll and compensate for some of the transfer sum of Anthony Zayaxa. Moreover, judging by the reports and statements of Jim Redcliffe, United's financial situation is hardly any better than Barcelona's. And the Red Devils still have to build a new stadium, so any income will be very timely. Follows: Brazil is still looking for a head coach after firing Dorival Jr. They dream of hiring Carlo Ancelotti or Pep Guardiola, but know it would take a miracle. Carlo Ancelotti does not want to leave Real Madrid, and he will only be fired if the team does not impress at the end of the season. As for Guardiola, the city management trusts him and plans to keep him for another year, and Pep will leave the team earlier, only if he himself wishes so. Therefore, Brazilians must study options more carefully. As the publication Mundo Deportivo writes, Selecao contacted Betis coach Manuel Pellegrini. Source Istana Ogreshnikov told the Chilean newspaper La Tercera the following: "We know that the representative of the Brazilian national team has contacted Pellegrini's entourage. We are confident that the Chilean is of great interest in the market, especially considering what he has done for our club over the past 5 seasons. We were told that Brazil's interest is very serious. Pellegrini has a solid track record. He worked at Real Madrid and Manchester City, achieved historic success with Villar, Real and Malaga, with whom he made noise in the European Cups. And now Manuel is managing Betis for the 5th season. A team with modest resources has gained such momentum that it could quite possibly leap into the Champions League at the end of this season. Pellegrini masterfully knows how to unlock creative players like Isco or Antony, and the Brazilian national team is almost synonymous with creativity in football, so Pellegrini will surely assemble a strong squad there. It's no surprise that the 5-time champions were interested in the Chilean. Manuel has all the experience, a very loud name, titles, and the talent to assemble a team. And it seems that the current Brazilian team just needs a coach who can get all the footballers to play the same football. Generally, I support the Brazilians' decision, as Rainey's source indicates they have taken the negotiations seriously. Apparently, Pellegrini will become the new coach of the team if Ancelotti does not respond in the near future. And he won't give it. Gianni Infantino, following the Russian officials, and Alexandro Ciferino spoke about the imminent return of the Russian team to the international arena. Infantino stated, "We always try to use sport, football in particular, to unite people, to unite countries." Talks are ongoing regarding the Ukraine situation. I hope that we can soon turn the page and also bring Russia back into the football territory, because that would mean that everything has been resolved. Isheferin mentioned it again, which was not well received by the Ukrainian Football Federation officials. In the Ukrainian Association of Football, they stated, "We are grateful to the football family for the decision made in February 2022 by the Union of European Football Associations Executive Committee and the International Federation of Association Football Council to remove Russian teams, both national teams and clubs, from participation in all international competitions." Unfortunately, over the past years, the question of reviewing this decision has been raised multiple times and suspicions have been expressed. Attempts to partially lift restrictions, in particular, regarding the admission of U17 youth teams to competitions. The organization said that the return of the Russians to tournaments under the auspices of Union of European Football Associations and International Federation of Association Football threatens to split the football family and directly threatens the safety and integrity of such international competitions. The issue of youth team matches in Europe is taken more leniently. Therefore, they are likely to return to the matches where the main team used to be. Many are disturbed by the fact that the Israeli national team participates in the World Cup qualifiers, while the Russian team does not have such an opportunity. If you think that Union of European Football Association's president Sefrin doesn't see the hypocrisy in this, you are mistaken. The official made a very strange statement. The difference between Russia and Israel. If you're talking about football, look at the ratings. If you're talking about politics, don't ask me. I'm sure many politicians didn't appreciate Schifrin's words, who among other things thus shifted all the blame onto them. For the ban of Russia or for the non-removal of Israel. You decide here yourself. Real Madrid and Arsenal faced major setbacks ahead of the crucial Champions League match. Arsenal lost Gabriel centre-back to a thigh injury sustained against Fulham, requiring surgery. The Brazilian won't play again this season. It's a real pity, the team leader, a true warrior, an ideal partner for Saliba and a reliable defender. And the main face of Arsenal in a foreign penalty area, with already iconic corners throughout the team. Gabriel gets the most freedom as he's the best at utilizing it. He's the target for most of the passes. Opponents know about this and try to cover the Brazilian with all their might, but they can't. But if he is held by 2 or 3 players, it benefits him even more. Then Gabriel deliberately leads the opponents further away from his partners and organizes opportunities for his own. Without the center-back, Arsenal's chances against Real Madrid have dropped considerably given the importance of set pieces in the Champions League playoffs for the Gunners. But the Slivs also face difficulties. Dani Ceballos' injury is more severe than initially believed, and he likely won't play against the Gunners. Ferland Mendy is also unlikely to play. Courtois and Lunin are training individually. It's quite likely that the Madrid team will have to field an academy goalkeeper in the near future. And it's not a fact that Courtois will be able to recover for the match with Arsenal, and Lunin will definitely still be recovering after tearing his calf muscle. Relin Chouameni is suspended for the first match against the Gunners due to accumulated yellow cards. Antonio Rudiger faces disqualification for his conduct in the Atletico match, according to Marca. Mattress makers complained about Vinicius, Kylian Mbappe and Dani Ceballos, who face financial penalties. But Rudiger's actions were deemed threatening. Probably the same harsh voice of real television will definitely call Rudiger's ban a gross injustice and discrimination. Due to the club's participation in the Super League, a serious scandal is looming. Barca still allowed to use Dan Olmo and Pau Victor. Despite the registration problems, the High Council for Sport sided with the club, issuing an official statement in support. According to him, the Commission did not confirm, ratify, or execute the agreements adopted by La Liga or Royal Spanish Football Federation. Rather, it directly disagreed not to issue the final license requested by Barcelona for Dani Olmo and Pablo Victor. But it was clearly and unequivocally established that the Monitoring Commission does not have the competence to make decisions about registration. La Liga can appeal, and Javier Tebas said they will exercise this right. In addition, La Liga has released an official statement on this matter. Tebas believes that the decision of the Supreme Council does not comply with the law and contradicts court decisions and violates the regulation that the Supreme Council itself adopted. The championship has put forth a lengthy legal rationale for its decision. Usually pleased with Javier Tebas's failures, but not this time, despite Colom and Victor's player allegiances. The thing is that the couple is registered for money that cannot be traced back in the documentation for this season. In short, Barca has registered players using non-existent funds. And no, this crooked La Liga is specifically trying to hinder the Catalans. Rather, the Blaugranas have backed themselves into a corner with their blatantly foolish decisions in the market. Then they went to fight in the offices and used their influence on Spanish sports bodies to push through player registrations. Blaugrana's lawyers deserve respect, but Barcelona has practically ruined all other La Liga teams. Because in the end, it turns out that the rules work for some teams, but not for others. At the same time, it's good that Blaugrana pointed out a legal loophole to La Liga. Jose Mourinho's relationship with coach Galatasaray Okan Buruk did not work out. In September, Fenerbahce lost to Galatasaray, and Jose did not appear at the press conference. He said he waited 70 minutes but still couldn't get out, because Buruk didn't think to stop talking to the journalists. In February, Mourinho complained about the behavior of his opponent's camera, and in the end Akan called Mourinho not special, but crying. He said he was tired of the Portuguese nitpicking. Even so, Galatasaray's neighbors laughed at the opponent's coach. Yesterday, Mourinho completely lost it and grabbed Buruk by the nose. In response, Akan stated nothing happened between me and Mourinho. He pinched my nose. It was a minor scratch. Of course, it wasn't very beautiful or elegant on his part. We expect that coaches will behave more appropriately in such situations. I won't exaggerate this problem, but it wasn't the most successful move. After the match, Mourinho and his assistants ignored the press conference. Galatasaray released an entire animated film dedicated to Jose called Galatasaray Drives You Crazy. In the press conference, they criticized the refereeing. Later, he dreams of Galatasaray players celebrating their win. Why is Mourinho going crazy, and he wakes up in a hospital in a deathly robe? Considering how Jose's behavior changes towards the end of his career, honestly speaking, the cartoon might turn out to be slightly prophetic. In recent years, Mourinho has completely lost it because he is not showing the previous results. Chelsea overcame Tottenham in an exciting and challenging match for both teams. Chelsea was pressing and was stronger. For most of the match, pensioners played vertically to punish Tottenham for pressing and short plays. Ironically, Spurs created their best moments in a quick drop, and Chelsea after a long, slowly developing attack. Ents scored early in the second half, assisted by Cole Palmer in his first notable performance since January. Roberto Sanchez unexpectedly pulled out a hard 3 points for the Blues, made several chic saves, and on the 90th minute he gave out a completely unbelievable repelled Sun strike, which seemed to carry the ball into the semi-empty goal. Absolutely heroic save. I only remember something similar from Iker Casillas. Ange Postecoglou may be dismissed by the end of the season or sooner. The team is visibly burnt out and tired, just like the Australian himself. It seems there's a tense atmosphere and pressure from the fans. The fans of Shipor booed their coach and chanted, "You don't know what you're doing," in response to which the coach put his hand to his ear. After Sarah's goal, which, to put it mildly, video assistant referee cancelled, it looked sad, comical. Removing Enja 8 rounds before the championship's end seems pointless, but the team and Postecoglou are clearly floundering. The problem may not be solved before the season. In addition to Masave, Sanchez remembered a full-fledged fight on the field after a foul on Kolule. It's a miracle that there was no red card, as Madison and Chalabu barely managed to pull each other away. And because it was the first half, the referee didn't want to actively intervene. You can look at this intimidating performance and Sanchez's miracles on our Telegram channel, where the entire match review is located. I'm leaving the link in the description to this video and in the pinned comment on the fire. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel. That's all for today. My name is Kirill Kasta. This was your daily dose of football. Peace to your home and Johanga friends.